name is Ainslie-Marie and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I'm going to be telling you guys all about the books I read in July. And if I'm being quite honest with you guys, I set a plan of like reading 10 books and I whipped out 11 and I am so proud of myself. So I like to start off these books with a couple of my stats, but first off, I would just like to say, first of all, I beat my reading goal, which was amazing and incredible, and I'm so proud of myself, because last month I was like 2 books shy of beating it, and I was, but now I beat it, I'm a winner, and not even did I read a bunch of books, but I also read like high quality books, so yeah, I think my average rating for this whole month, yeah, my average rating for July was a 3.98, which is so good. I had a bunch of like 4.5s, a bunch of 4s, I don't think I had a single 5. I actually don't know. So I read 11 books. I read 4,236 pages, which is good. I actually don't know how to gauge like a page count. And then again, my average rating was a 3.98, which is really, really good. 11 books. One of that was an audiobook, so I'm just going to go ahead and start with that. I read The Identicals by Ellen Hilderbrand. I think that's how you say it. I gave that book just a 3. I love the characters, but the plot was a little flat for me. Again, it was an audiobook, so I only listen to audiobooks for like car rides. I didn't really go on a lot of car rides, so I started that book, I want to say, in June, and I didn't finish it till like a week ago. So it has been a long ride for me to finish that book, and it was good for what I needed it for, but it wasn't this wow amazing thing. So 3 stars, pretty basic. And then the second book that I do not have with me is Get a Life, Chloe Brown. My best friend took it with her whenever she left my house. I ended up giving that book a 4.5. I would have given it a 5, but the beginning was like super slow. Or at least about, like, I was 75 pages in, and I remember looking at my best friend Lena and being like, I think I want to put this down. Thank goodness I didn't, because literally like page 80, like 5 pages later, it started going and it didn't stop. So the only reason why I couldn't give it the complete 5 was because I did have a little bit of a hesitation at the beginning, but once I got past that, it was such an incredible novel. I love Chloe. I love the plus size representation. I actually read that book for the plus size readathon that was over the entire month of July, and it was just awesome. I am part of the plus size community, so it was amazing to not only have a readathon that highlighted my body type, but to read a book from a character who also has my body type. So it was just amazing and incredible, and it represented chronic illness, which I feel like a lot of books don't do, solely because they're scared, because you could do it so wrong. But I think this book represented the chronic illness so well. So again, 4.5 stars. I wish I could give it the full 5, but the beginning just didn't do it for me. Go outside if you're gonna do that. So I finished Cemetery Boys on the first day of July. It was super good, kind of. I gave it a 3.5 stars. There was a lot about this book that I loved, and there was a lot about this book that I didn't love. So, for one thing, this takes place over, like, Halloween. I'm blanking. Is it the Day of the Dead? I don't know the way that they say it in Spanish, but, the Day of the Dead, so like the end of October, beginning of November, and I read this in July. So reading this book, everybody was focusing on like Halloween festivities and all of that stuff, and I just couldn't really get into it because right now I'm focusing on beach days and pool time and wearing sunscreen, and this book is focusing on everything but that. So I just feel like I couldn't really necessarily dive all the way in because I wasn't in the right like mood for it. I don't know if that makes sense, but so yeah, I wish I saved this book for October, but I mean, it was still good. It was still a good book. The other thing that I like hesitated with, I loved how into detail it went with like where their faith lied. I'm personally a Christian, so it was kind of hard for me to it was hard for me to relate to these characters because they had such a completely different faith than I did. Like, their view of the afterlife is completely different from mine. So while it was interesting to read from a different perspective, it was just also really, really hard for me to be like, that's not, like, it was just hard for me. Also, this has like a trans gay representative, and I love that. I feel like a lot of people focus only on trans or only on gay and never about a transgender who is gay. And I just love that they represented that in this book, and it was good. It was good. I'm not going to go in chronological order because, to be honest, I don't remember chronologically which came first and second and all that. But the next one on my stack is Kate in Waiting. I read this on the airport ride to Cancun. It was super good. I gave this book 4 stars. I love everything that Becky Albertalli writes. I just found that this book was a little, like, petty for me, and I didn't necessarily like it. I don't know. I just feel like a couple, like, the argument fight scenes, I was like, are you serious? Like, this is so, like, petty, like, melodramatic. Like, I just didn't, like, why am I holding my cup here? Anyway, there were a couple scenes in the book that I was just like, oh my gosh, are you kidding me? Like, we're doing this again. But it was good for the most part. I did like the characters, and it's a solid story, so I gave it 4 stars. Would I read it again? Absolutely not. The next book is Love and Luck. DNF'd. Hated it. Hated it. So, on my bucket list of like 7 things, it's to travel to Ireland. And this book made me not want to go to Ireland. Okay, DNF'd. I had like 100 pages left, and no, I didn't want to. The first one, Love and Gelato, 5 stars. It was perfect. I love Lena. She is such an incredible character. Addie, no. She is the complete opposite of me, and I just could not. She alone was giving me so much anxiety. Like, she'd be like, oh, we're gonna be 45 minutes late, but like, that's okay. No, in my house, you're 10 minutes early or you're late, okay? Okay. And she, no. I did not like Addie. She was giving me too much stress. I read books to escape my anxiety, and this book gave me more of it. So, I did not like it, okay? Don't pick it up. Don't do it. Let's see, what's the next book? Oh yeah, The Last to Let Go by Amber Smith. I gave this book 3.75 stars. It was good. Excuse me. It was good. So the first book I read by Amber Smith was The Way I Used to Be, and it was about a rape victim. It was about a rape victim that I could actually relate to. This book was a little hard for me to relate to, but I love the writing styles. I love the characters. I love the LGBTQ representation. Just everything about this book was super good. So I liked it. The only reason why I didn't give it... Stop, sir. I think there were a couple plot holes, and this is based around, like, the justice system, and I felt that some things didn't really live up to the... I'm a criminal justice major, so reading this book, I was like, that's not realistic, that's not how it happens. So, didn't like it for that book, but yeah, it's good. I'm not gonna read it again, and the cover's ugly, but, like, I shouldn't have said it like that. Oh, that's, like, mean. I then read One Last Stop by Casey McQuiston, 4 stars. I liked it. I'm trying to think of why I didn't rate it 5. I don't know why I didn't rate it 5 now that I'm thinking about it. Oh, the chapters were like 60 pages long. What? That's like a commitment. I don't do commitment. No. So the fact that I had to, like, commit to this book just to read a chapter, I was like, ugh. I don't know. I also felt like there were a couple plot holes, not a lot, but, like, I was definitely reading and I was like, wait, hold on, that doesn't make sense. But yeah, I mean, I liked it. I wasn't the biggest fan of Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is also by Casey McQuiston. Again, I had a problem with the chapters in that one. Stop! But yeah, it was good. 4 stars. I liked it. The sex scenes were really, really good. I loved the LGBTQ representation, lesbian porn, as I like to say it. My grandma just walked in and gave me the look. Lesbian porn. What are you doing? Don't give the... She's trying to give me a bracelet that I got her for Christmas. I got you that bracelet as a gift.
You did?
Yes! Me and Duncan.
Well,
We were so happy when we found it because we were like, this is the perfect gift.
well, then I'll give you this one.
What is that?
There's diamonds.
Why are you giving stuff away? You're not
I don't
dying.
gotta wear 'em.
The next book I read is More Happy Than Not by Adam Silvera. I feel like this book is incredibly underrated. I gave it a 4.5 stars, I want to say. I didn't give it the full 5 because there were a couple plot holes that I wasn't a fan of. And the pacing was just off. Like, it would either be super slow or super fast. There was no like good rhythm to it. But I love this book. I love the characters. I love how it deals with like internal homophobia and how it deals with how it's a process for the person to come to terms with their sexuality. Always focus on how the parents react whenever they come out, and this focused on him coming out and coming to terms with his sexuality, which I thought was really, really cool. It was a cool spin on it. I liked the characters. I liked the plot. I liked how it brought up the how it had like the memory eraser machine. I really, really liked that element to this book because that's cool. I've never read about that in a book before. I know it's like a trope in some, but I thought it was really, really good. So yeah, 4.5. The next book is Camp by Elsie Rosen. I gave this book 4.75. Guys, I got so close to giving every single book this month a 5, but because I can't do that, I had to spice up my rating, so 4.75 it is. This book follows... this is like an LGBTQ camp for queer kids, whether you're ace, or you're non-binary, or you're trans, or you're just gay, or you're just anything in the LGBTQ community. Anything in the LGBTQ community, you're invited to go to the summer camp, and it's about this, his name's Randy, but he goes by Del, so it's like Randy/Del. He goes to camp and he's like, I'm gonna change who I am to have this guy fall in love with me, and the guy who he wants to fall in love with him is like kind of homophobic, kind of not. But yeah, this book also focuses on internal homophobia, which is really, really good. So much diversity. I'm not a fan of the cover, but like, I mean, you know it's gay, so. I then read It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This was my first Colleen Hoover book that I've ever read, and I gave it 5 stars. It was amazing. It was so good. It put me in like a book hangover for 3 days. It was so good. I will say look up the trigger warnings before you read this book because there's a bunch of things. I don't want to ruin it for anybody because there are a bunch of like plot twists. I will say look up the trigger warnings because it can get a little bit... like I have PTSD and there are a couple scenes in here where I just had to put the book down and just take a second. But the scenes are powerful. It teaches you a lot about relationships and just healthy communication and stuff. So I like that it came with like a lesson and wonderful characters and a great plot. You will be sobbing at the end of the book because I cried. I cried whenever I finished this book because it was so sad. But it wasn't sad, but it was like, I don't know, it was like sappy. It was very sappy. But yeah, I love this book. So good. So good. Comment down below if I should read, like what other books I should read by Colleen Hoover. I really want to read November 9th. November 9th, or 9th of November, I don't know what it's called. And then there are a couple others that I've seen like floating around TikTok that I would love to read. But I don't really know where to go, so if you're a Colleen Hoover fan, please comment below some book recommendations for me written by her, or written by an author similar to her, because I love her writing style. So yeah, feel free to comment down below. The last book I read is The Wicked Deep, 5 stars. I read this book in like 4 hours. I was in the pool the whole time, and I was reading it, and it was perfect, and so I'm more of a romance reader. I'm not really a fantasy reader, but this book is perfect for anybody who, if you want to read more fantasy, but you don't know where to start, this is such a good starting book, solely because it has so much in it that is fantasy, but it also has the romance trope, and it has the like realistic element, and it has historical fiction, and there's witches, and it's so good. So 5 stars for this bad boy because it was perfect. One of my favorite booktubers, I'm literally blanking on her name right now. Why am I blanking on her name? Because she's one of my favorite booktubers. Anyway, I'll have her name floating around because I literally watch every single one of her videos as soon as it uploads, and I'll link the video that recommended this book to me in the description below. So this book was so good. So good. Ow! He bit my finger! Charlie bit my finger and it hurt. But yeah, 5 stars, so good. Recommend it, 10 out of 10. For my last book, even though I'm done, I started reading The Priory of the Orange Tree. I'm buddy reading it with one of my friends on TikTok, Sama. I think that's how you say her name, but I could be wrong. I'm linking her TikTok in the description down below solely because she's such a kind soul, and I would love for you guys to follow her, get to know her, anything that you want to do. It's been awesome. We were both really intimidated by the thickness of The Priory of the Orange Tree, and we're just trucking along right now. I'm at about 175 pages right now, and it's just been awesome to like read a bit and like text her and be like, oh my goodness, and then she responds, oh my goodness, and we're just like geeking out. So it's been awesome. Like I said, I read like 175, so hopefully it'll be in my August reading wrap up, but who knows. But yeah, so that is going to be it for today's video. Like I said, I'm linking down my book friends page, my favorite booktubers page, and comment about Colleen Hoover because I love them. But yeah, so I read 11 books. Thank you guys so much for listening to me talk about them. I really appreciate it, if you're still here, that is. But thank you guys so much, and I'll see you next week. Bye!